What's up, creative? So, okay, I have this underexposed image that I did in Atlanta, and I underexposed it on purpose because the sun was setting in the background, and I kind of wanted to catch that, but I didn't have my flash on me. And I had posted this online, and it had got a little traction from it. So I wanted to just show the behind the scenes for it. I'm not using Lightroom to edit this. I'm actually only using Camera Raw. So that's another reason why I wanted to show exactly how I did it. So let's just open this up in Camera Raw. And once again, this is a raw image. As you can see, you got a little bit of the sunburst coming from around the edges of her hair. The Everything else is like completely underexposed, but you still got just a little bit of detail there. You still got it. So I just want to go through the process of editing this. So first off, I always start with white balance, and my white balance is actually pretty cool because I had already set it. So assessing the image, I really wouldn't start with exposure first. I would actually go into shadows, of course, since that's the main thing that I want to take care of. So let me just boost the shadows up just a little bit, and automatically you can see that it's more detail coming in off top. So yeah, but I really don't like doing shadows too high, but I'd probably keep it around at least 50. And then I'd go back up to exposure, and then I'd start playing with that a little bit. Let me see, about 65 looks good to me. I always take just a little bit of contrast out because I'm gonna bring it back in when I add some blacks. So just a little bit. Play with the highlight. That'll take care of the background a little bit. You can see the poles kind of coming back in. So we can take that highlight on down. And the whites will probably go down as well because that'll give us a little bit more background. So I'll probably take the whites all the way down to about -60. Alrighty, and then we got our black. So since we were already playing with the shadows, I really don't want to crush the blacks too much. But just a little bit. Say like -15. -15 will probably work. Alrighty. And just to temporarily smooth the skin a little bit, I always play with this texture in the Camera Raw. It's not like a high-end retouch, but it does take away just as much as I need it to in order to get the job done, especially if I'm doing like a quick edit on something. So I always put the photo at 100% in order to process that. And as you can see the difference. Sometimes when I'm editing, I go to the extreme and then dial back. So I'll probably go all the way, no texture, which is -100, and then dial it back. But I've learned that my texture, I like to stay within at least 30, not really going past 40, 45. But like I said, I really didn't want to take too much out of this. So about 40 will work for me. The clarity is always nice as well, but still, once again, not too much. As you can see, that brings a little bit of highlight back into it, just a little bit. And then the days, if I did take a lot of shadow out, then the days would come in handy as well. As you can see, it adds a little bit more contrast. But once again, I don't really do too much days. I probably go at about a negative or plus 13, 14, maybe 15, but not really nothing major. And the vibrance, of course, since we got the sun coming through the edges of her hair, I would like to add more vibrance just so we can try to dial some of that background back. And we also have these yellow lines right here in the middle of the street that I would like the colors to pop a little bit more. So we can just give it a little bit more vibrance. And I'd rather do vibrance over saturation. Saturation just kind of overdoes it, so I don't really play with that. Okay, so that's like the basic edit on it. And I can always go into the tone curves and play with the highlights a little bit. Once again, that's still affecting the background, just bringing back in the background a little bit. Play with the lights, just making it pop a little bit more. Darks. I always just, once again, go to the extremes and see what it looks like till I find a medium that I like. It's all up to personal preference, but you do want to make sure you enhance the photo, which is the main goal, not trash it. Okay, I like that. I like that. Detail, I really wouldn't worry about that right now. Going into the HSL adjustments, automatically, since she has the brim going around her hair, I automatically want to do the oranges because that'll just make that pop, and it'll bring some color back into the skin. So once again, all the way extreme, you can see the orange going in her face. So that automatically tells us that it's too much orange. So I would dial that back a little bit. And you see it's disappearing from her face, but we still got it around her hair. So that's really what we want. You can dial into the greens in the back. Make those pop. I think the yellow line in the street is really affected by the orange, but we can try it. No, the yellow does. Okay, so it catches it by yellow. So we can dial that in a little bit, and I really don't play with the reds too much because it affects the skin too much in the bad area. So I don't really play with the red unless I'm taking some out. That's really the basis. And if I want to get real detailed, like you can see, of course, since it's the sky, it's more light and the ground is more dark. So I will go up here to the graduated filter. Let me clear these old settings out. Alrighty. And this is actually something that I just found out in Camera Raw. So they really got some nice little tools in here that you can use before you even bring it over to Photoshop or Lightroom. All right, so since I got that graduated filter in there, then you can go play with the settings. So start with exposure. Of course, I really wouldn't do that, but since it's dark, then that automatically tells you that it's targeting shadows. So you can go up to the shadows and just bring some of that back. And then I normally slide this up to see how much of the photo it's affecting, just to make sure I'm hitting it right on point. So as you can see, I don't really want to go past her arm, so I'd probably stop it right about right there. All right, and keep playing with it. So that was shadows. We can do just a little bit of exposure, but it was mainly shadows that took care of it, but just a little bit of exposure. And as you can see, that automatically looks better, especially for an underexposed image. All right, so yeah, that's how I got my results. Yeah, it turned out pretty good. So once again, this is my first tutorial of 2020. There will be plenty more. If you have any specific questions on Photoshop, please comment below, and you can hit my Instagram up at jwilsonmedia. You can DM me questions and I will do videos on them. So once again, thank y'all for watching. Like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed it. If not, at least come back and watch the next one.